Wave 91.7 FM. Good morning. You may have noticed the fact that a little bit of something that is unconventional did happen because we did not give you the rundown. That's because we will be having a conversation with someone whose ideals, his direction, and his knowledge has actually made Wave FM what it is, and it's leading where it's going. Of course, your guests may have been tilting in the direction that we need to go, but before we reveal the big cat in the house, you get to understand where it's going. But I'm glad to announce to you that we have some of our latest joining us this morning as we do this together on Real Talk. Christopher Woko is here. Good morning, Chris.
Woko is the name.
Woko. If Kai is not taking it, I'll call you Woko Master.
Good morning, Ade.
Hi,
Good
Chris.
morning. I'm doing very well.
Bright looks, I like it. And we also have Antonia. This one, you also correct me. Asabil.
Yes, Asabil.
Correct me. But that bill aspect, if PhD gets to find out that you bear such a name, you might be waiting for, some court order to actually defend that name. Thank you.
Good morning to you as well, Ade. How are you doing this morning?
It's good to have you here. So, guys, how do you feel about today? Don't mention the name yet, but the presence of the person with us. How do you feel having that presence? Is this looking spiritual?
I know. It's actually feeling spiritual, not just looking spiritual. And it feels good to have him here in the studio with us today.
Chris?
To be honest, I wasn't expecting to have him here this morning. So when I heard that he was coming, I had to prepare myself to make welcome his presence. And of course, I'm happy.
Let me do the traditional way. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please make welcome the Big Daddy on radio, the Ovaiwan of Rumuhonu Sokwe Bemono land. After now, I'm sure of a bag of rice. Big Daddy, good morning.
All right, so what a huge title. Ade, good morning, Port Harcourt. I'm so glad to be here this morning in the midst of this wonderful and amazing people. Once again, good morning.
That's the Big Daddy on radio. For those of you who do not know, Big Daddy is not just any Big Daddy. He is Dr. Rex Igiri. And we also add the very important title of a one in the studio this morning. We're talking about Work for Safety, Work for Security, the 32nd edition. If you do not know, we've run it from 1 to the 32nd, and Work for Safety has actually encapsulated different themes. But this morning, Big Daddy, looking back and how this particular idea did start, what had been the drive and inspiration behind WSWS, Work for Safety, Work for Security?
Okay, well, like you rightly said, WSWS, Work for Safety, Work for Security. If you ask me of the drive and the inspiration, well, what can I say? Far back 2017, when this decision was made, we sat in the conference room and were thinking of things to do, to further contribute to the growth of Nigeria and Rivers State, which is our immediate constituency. And I don't know. It's like what somebody would say, you saw all of this coming. Like you saw all of this coming because in 2017, the level of insecurity in Nigeria wasn't as much as what it is today. You agree with me completely. And so, but it was dropped in our spirits to say, look, you guys can take some of the enlightenment campaigns that you do on radio outside there, take it to the doorsteps of the people. And so the idea of getting Work for Safety, Work for Security came to mind. And okay, are we only just going to be working for safety and security? Every edition has its own theme, which is unique to the times. So at every time we're working for a particular team, just like it is. So just to cut short and answer your question, shortly, I mean, to be precise about this, is to say that, look, we saw this coming. And not to indict any agency, But if everyone in Nigeria see things coming ahead of time and they nip those things in the bud, it will help us.
Absolutely.
Even at this point in time, it's still not late. The kind of things that we are seeing now, let's not wait until we are overwhelmed before we begin to take action. So we decided to take action far back in 2017, and since then up till now, we have told ourselves we are not going to relent until we have a better Nigeria.
All right, sir. There have been ups and downs, in the previous administration. There could be, there might be the previous administration. We're talking about the preparation proper. There have been maybe ups and downs, challenges that we might have encountered in the previous edition of work for safety, work for security. Coming into this particular edition, what exactly are we looking out for in order not to encounter those highs and ups and downs that we faced in the previous edition?
Okay, the beauty of this event is the fact that it's an event that is accepted by Rivers people.
No doubt.
And beyond. Now, you agree with me at any time that we call on Rivers people to say, look, this is time for work for safety, work for security. Before 5 a.m., I say before 5 a.m., whatever venue it is that we are making use of, you see already hundreds of people lining up for the event. So that's the level to which this event is accepted. Now, that's not to say there are no challenges. Of course, there are challenges. There's nothing that you do that you will not experience challenges, and especially in a system where it looks like the economy is perhaps not smiling at Nigerians. It's difficult to organize such huge events without necessarily encountering some shortfalls in the area of maybe financing in the area, because you're gathering people. The people are not interested in what you give to them. It's the bonding that you're able to create.
Right.
But at the same time, you need to be able to put certain structure in place that would make the event a successful one. For people who are into event organizing, you know that certainly for you to organize a successful event, you will certainly spend money, and so funding is critical. But the numbers, we raise our numbers organically, meaning that the people, just like I said earlier, they have accepted this event, and so whenever we call on them, they come. And when they come, we are happy that they have come, and we do the event together, and we are all working towards the same goal, making Nigeria and Rivers State better.
Now, if you just joined the conversation, this is Real Talk on your Everything on PlayStation. It gets real by the day and every nanosecond. We are having a conversation with the Big Daddy on radio, who is the general manager of Wave 91.7 FM, Dr. Rex Igiri. Remember, no conversation has ever been enacted on this platform and decides to alienate you. So you would also have your turn to call into the program and tell us which of the edition actually excited you the more, and what are you expecting on Saturday at the 32nd edition. Also, you can win a gift depending on how the spirit leads the Ovai1. So we will be creating those parameters for you to actually win yourself a t-shirt, so that you don't come that day and you say your own is just exclusive. We make that happen. Now, let's get on to the other aspect. Antonia, you have a question for the Big Daddy.
Yes, Doug. This year's edition, the theme, I would like you to go, into detail why this theme and what should the people expect as well, because obviously we've had previous editions, right? So every edition had a theme going for it, and it always captures what the people are facing. So this year's theme, can you tell us why this theme is pertinent for this period's edition?
Okay, well, thank you so much. Let me start by attempting to answer that question by saying that when you check, God has blessed Nigeria so much so that Nigeria has nothing to do with poverty. I've said that so many times, and you agree with me that this is just the only kind of system that you have where politicians are far richer than core business people. And when you have that in any society, then it appears you're not going forward. So how do we address all of this? The blessing for Nigeria is meant for all Nigerians. Now, when you have one or two persons pocket this wealth to the tune of trillions, and yet majority of Nigerians will be sitting back crying, retired to faith, only waiting for when God will call them. It's a bad thing, and we need to quickly address that. Now, let me say that the theme for season 32 is zero poverty and improved health care. Zero poverty and improved health care. Now, when do you say someone is poor? When do you say someone is plagued with poverty? At the point where your take-home income cannot afford the basic necessities of life, which includes food, shelter, sanitation, health, and all of that, then such a person is poor. Such a person is poor if you cannot afford food. The same way it is stated clearly that no country would state of its sovereignty if that country cannot provide food for her citizens. Now, in Nigeria today, how many people go to bed having food in their stomach and they get up in the morning and they are sure of breakfast? It's a terrible thing. And every day on the pages of the newspapers, we keep hearing how much money is flying into people's accounts, flying into people's pockets, and all of that. So we have decided to come out to say, look, even the United Nations, the United States, have also stated a certain amount of money that an individual is meant to survive on annually or even daily. And to that extent, in Nigeria, what we call national monetary poverty lines, there is this amount that is stated, and to be sure, let me even see what it is. As meager as this is, 137,430 naira per person annually. And then roughly that amounts to 376 naira per day. 376 naira per day. I'm talking about in 2026. How do you survive on that? So that in itself is already bad. And then you see that over 40 to 62% of Nigerians are living below this line. That translates to like 82 to 140 million Nigerians living below poverty. If this is the poverty line that is being stated here, then people who are living below poverty, my brother, there's a problem. There's a problem. And I don't know how it is that God usually does this. We have done season 1 up to, it's not a count. And that count is, let me say, it's not some kind of small count, season 1 to 31. And it's arithmetic count, not geometric count, like the one we just experienced during the primary elections. You know, where they will count number 1 and then the next thing 100. We did 1, 2, 3, got to 30, 31, and this is season 32. Having said this, we can get better as a country. There's a lot that is going for us. The agricultural lands are good enough to provide food for Nigerians if we deploy the right resources to that. We can get better. What we have, oil, is there that has made us abandon agriculture. Will it be a crime if we were dealing with oil, we are having proceeds from oil, and we're having proceeds from agriculture, we're having proceeds from mineral resources, as it were? What kind of country do you think Nigeria would be like? Well, here we are. Nigerians are crying and struggling to survive. All of that because poverty has been weaponized. What about the health care? What about health situation in Nigeria? Is the health infrastructure, doctor to patient count or ratio good enough to take care of Nigerians? Are Nigerians also insured by way of health insurance and all of that? So there are a lot of things that are not going well for Nigerians, and this advocacy is just to bring to the consciousness of our leaders that, look, Oga, we can do better. All these monies that you guys are piling up, we are not attacking anybody, but we are just saying something. We are making a statement. Don't pile up all of this just to the detriment of other Nigerians. millions of Nigerians, because it gets to a point where you will not even be able to use what it is that you have